Welcome back to another episode of the Sit Down Talk podcast. My name is Kier.
And I'm Noémie.
And we welcome you. Clap it up for you for being up in this joint. Look, we figured out the mic thing. A little time off do a lot of good. If this is your first time here, welcome. We welcome you. Make sure you go back and you listen to or watch all of our episodes, depending on whether you're on YouTube or whether you're an audio streamer. Do that. But if you're one of the people we refer to as repeat offender, that for those that don't know, repeat offenders are folks that keep coming back to the Sit Down Talk time and time again. Let's go ahead and bring that thing in. That's a hug. If you're an audio listener, that's a hug. Good to see you.
I like that voice, like the ASMR. Is that what it is? What if we shot it?
Let's
Sit Down Talk video just like this.
ASMR irritates me after a while.
Okay.
It's a certain microphone you have to use, but as soon as you go,
oh God,
now,
that sounds gross.
now I don't want to listen anymore. People listen to people chewing, which to me is torture. There's this, never mind.
He hates it.
I hate that.
So. And like I chew like a goat. The babies chew like goats, and we just like, especially if we're in the car, we all know that we have to stop chewing, cause Daddy just gets quiet, and we're like, oh, we done did it now.
And I hate to be the one that, like, I don't like people walking on eggshells around me because I feel away, but sometimes they be chewing, and you can hear the spit coming in and out the gum, and everyone's chewing.
Babe, stop.
I know.
But you're talking about it.
That's my experience. That's what I'm feeling in real life. Today is going to be a very dope episode. We're really excited about it. We've been doing a lot of episodes about where our relationship is in real time. And today is no exception. You want to intro that thing, boo?
Yeah. I feel like in a lot of our sit down talks, we give advice, even though it's not super direct, but it's like coming from a place of experience. So let me tell you how things are working and what we're doing. And I feel like that's a lot of work. And I feel like a lot of people who are listening to this do the work, but what does life look like in the in-between? And that's something I've been really thinking about, because I will say that Kier and I are in this really interesting season of our relationship. I don't think we've ever been here, and we'll talk a little bit more about what that is later. But how did we get here, and what does it feel like right now? Like, I think we're on the cusp of a breakthrough in what our like lives, as far as independent lives, outside of who we are as partners, outside of who we are as parents, outside of, you know, who we are in this relationship, but like kind of going back to who we are as people. Hanging out with our friends, picking up hobbies. Like, who are you outside of your family and your kids?
The individual piece.
Exactly. And I feel like we're getting there, but this is the first time that I'm recognizing it. And it's a space that we've never been. You know, I think we've been climbing for, you know, clarity, climbing for some type of peace. And I see it on the horizon for the first time ever with 2 kids, where we are in our business and where we are in our marriage. We've never been here before. So, but I feel good about it for the first time after a long time.
I feel good about it. I'm the opposite. I feel good about it, and I always have felt either neutral or good about it. But the difference for me is I finally see what people are talking about.
Yeah.
Like, they say the first year of marriage is the hardest. I disagree. At least not in my experience or couples I counsel. The first year is very challenging, and it's a shock to the system. But saying the first year of marriage is the hardest is the same thing as saying the first year of parenthood is the hardest. Like, yeah, it's because you haven't experienced a 3-year-old yet, or 14-year-old. That's why it feels the hardest. But there is this difficulty that comes between, I would say, 5 and 7. From everybody that I talk about, you hear about the 7-year itch, and for y'all that don't know, the 7-year itch is this space in a lot of couples' marriage where they really think about divorce in that 7 years. And at first I thought it was because of animosity or hate, and it's not. Sometimes it's because of the inverse of that. It's because of the mundane and the routine and just the repetition of it all, and how you greet that, and still seeing your person as a person that you can't meet with repetition. You got to meet them with specificity, you know. And
that's a bar. Say that again.
I don't remember what I said.
You can't meet them with repetition. You have to meet them with specificity.
I said that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's all right. That's true.
Damn.
I like that. But that's true. And I think we're going on year 5. No, we're going on year 6. And we're very intentional people. And if we weren't this intentional, I could see how all the busyness of life just starts to throw dust in your marriage, and you just can't see the other person anymore. I used to be judgmental of that.
Really?
I'm not
Why?
judgmental because how can you not see the person right beside y'all? Go to sleep together every night. Y'all wake up together. Y'all own stuff together. That's the thing. That's the thing. And it becomes repetition. Like, okay, let me check off this box. But your person is not a box. And sometimes just the inverse of that, you doing stuff for yourself is like, let me check off a box. But you're not a box. You're an individual. And like I said, you can just get washed in this thing. So that's something that we want to talk through today to kind of give folks heads up, or maybe have folks reminisce and rethink about where they are in their own journey. Or even if you ain't married and you single and you just want to see what it's like, we about to go through all that today. We talking about it in real time.
Right.
Yeah.
There was just a lot of gems and a lot of bars over here. So I encourage you to go back and listen, because even like it was going so fast, but I think you brought up a lot of things. And I think the biggest thing was keep in mind, I've never heard this analogy before, so I'm hearing it.
Yeah,
Most of the stuff that we talk about are in real time. So basically, I'm having a mind blown moment, and I'm trying to catch what just happened. I loved when you were talking about how, like, you also have to realize that you're not a box. Like, you check off these things for your partner, and just maybe not in partnership, but just things that you feel for whatever reason you need to do in your relationship, in your life, as a parent, whatever. And I don't think a lot of times we give ourselves that grace when we're doing the work, that we are also, we have to be as flexible and as open and as fluid in the kinds of relationships that we develop with other people in the same way that we look at ourselves.
100%.
That's really hard.
It is hard. I say this thing all the time. If your goal is to take care of everyone and you don't take care of yourself, then you failed at taking care of everyone, because you don't consider yourself in that number. And we think that that level of sacrifice or martyrdom or abnegation is like of merit, and maybe, but if your partner doesn't receive it or see it, or they got their own stuff going on, you can build resentment toward that person for not seeing what you feel is obvious, but what they feel is just another thing in the process of things that they have to be attuned to. So yeah, it's crazy.
And there's layers to this.
So many.
What Kier just explained is
layers.
That's just simply the way that we are viewing other people. We haven't even started talking about how it reviews upon ourselves. You could be doing the work and doing everything that you got to do for your partner, but are you doing what you got to do to be good?
That's why I hate 50-50 conversations, because
it's
that's what y'all talking about. 50, like, don't on this side, that does not matter. It just, we don't ever talk about it. It's not a thing.
Listen, so shameless plug, I posted about this on YouTube, and I believe I've by the time that this comes out, I would have put it on Instagram, but I was talking about the concept of harmony over balance. You guys have heard me say it a million times.
That's my favorite bar from you.
I love the concept.
I live by that now.
But I was talking about how I be preaching all this stuff, but I'm not doing the work to find harmony with myself. Like, I'm trying to be there. I'm trying to not feel guilty about, mom guilt, about career guilt, about, all of these things, about me not spending time with myself. And I've forgiven myself. I don't feel that guilt, but I'm still not doing the thing. And I'm promoting this idea that I'm not actually living. And it's not because I'm a fraud or anything, but I'm recognizing like how hard it is to really find harmony. Even though it's a thing that I believe in, is it a thing that, like, what does it look like when you're looking for it? What does it look like when you're trying to do it? And that's just in my relationship with myself. That's not even the relationship with my man. It's just, it's a lot. But yeah, we're gonna go into a little bit more specific, I guess, in-depth way to kind of start this conversation, because we're kind of all over the place right now. So we've been in this really interesting season, wouldn't you say, in our well, first let me ask if you agree, because I feel like we're in a not weird. It's not weird.
It's not weird.
It's so new.
It feels like it's unfamiliar.
Yeah.
And I thought that we had the tools to avoid this. And we ended up falling into it anyway.
Yeah.
But I don't mind talking about it because it's not embarrassing to me. I wish more people talk about it openly so that I could realize that it's not bad or weird. Yeah. It's just a part of the process for a lot of people. Yeah. Nah.
So what season are you in right now?
A season where like our connectivity takes more work for us to feel connected. It used to just be, we just boom.
Vibing all the time.
Vibing has always been our thing, and it's just been such a natural thing that now it takes more work. I saw this Instagram post with this man and this woman just hugging each other, man, and they said purposely reconnecting with your partner because y'all are toddler parents, and WTF is this. And we talk oftentimes on this joint about how, you know, we don't agree that kids aren't in the way of marriage. We don't agree with that. We don't agree that responsibilities aren't in the way of marriage. We don't agree with that. We think all those things are in the way tremendously. Like the huge impedances to just you all's mutual happiness in finding that joy in togetherness, because it takes you away from your person. And now it's just like
such a good way to put it.
All the stuff we gotta do, man, and just the talking about the stuff sometimes, it's just like an association thing where if I see her and she starts talking, my response sometimes be like, what's up? What's going on?
What do I need to do?
I ain't never been that, but I associate you talking with me having to do something. And it's not her fault. It's not her fault. Our family has logistics. This shit is like running a multi-international business, running a family. That's why so many people be resentful to their spouse, because they running the business solo. At least they feel like they are. But we try to be connected. But the more, if you listen here, you know I hate to be talked to. Like, don't ever talk to me a day in your life. I love talking to her more than anybody on the planet. So it's like this weird juxtaposition of I need to talk and be in communication with my wife to make sure we're bonded and we're close and our family's good and all the logistics. But the other side's like, God damn, I'm talked out.
Yeah.
And then the other side of that triangle is don't associate our conversations with anything but work now. And, you know, there's people, the work is fun. Have at it.
I don't know anybody that said that to me.
People public facing be putting on a mask.
I don't know them people.
Yeah,
I'm not attracted to those types of people. Those types of energies.
Listen, if there's an easy button there, I'm hitting it. You can
every time.
You can do all the hard work and feel better about it afterwards. I want a life of more ease when possible. So it's that piece, and I hate that. I hate feeling like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know how I can not feel like that. So my part of it is trying to rearrange my brain so that I not rearrange but reframe my thoughts so that I have more grace for the soft spots where that stuff just needs to live.
Yeah.
I figured out how. I'm figuring out how.
Yeah. I definitely see a change there. I definitely see a change there in you. I can't point exactly to what it is, but I see a better, maybe not like overall happier disposition, but I see better. You know what I mean? I see you figuring it out, and I'm just giving you the space to figure it out, and you kind of let me know what you need. And similarly to what you talked about, you know, the season that you're in, I feel like I'm in a season where not like I can fall back because you didn't have it together, but so many of the decisions that we had to make as a family, as business partners, require like us constantly checking in with each other and making a mutual decision. I feel like I don't have to ask you, like even business wise, I can make decisions for the business without coming to you. You know what I mean? I didn't always feel that way. You know, I felt like everything had to go like to both of us. And I just feel like I've been able to fall back and work on myself, because it wasn't like I didn't work on myself because I didn't want to. It's just hard.
It's like a lot to juggle at once.
So much to juggle. I'm busier than I've ever been. I feel good about the decisions that I'm making and the things that I'm taking on, but it is a much busier life than I expected. I've been out of my job for 2 years.
Yeah.
And the mentality back then was like hashtag soft life, soft wife, soft girl, soft mom. Like, I'm going to be chilling. There ain't nothing.
Where's the soft?
It's
heavy on the life.
It's heavy on the life. Heavy on the life, heavy on the moves.
Light on the soft.
Light on the soft. And I still want to be a good wife, though. You know what I mean? I still want to be a good mom. Like, this business, if this works out, this is what we're going to be able to give back to our family, to our descendants. Like, this ain't no light, you know what I mean? This isn't something that I'm not going to put my all into, but like in doing all of that, it's just like, yo, sis, like, where are you in all of this? And I find myself blaming you, blaming the kids, blaming the business, like even saying sometimes like, I don't even want to do this no more.
Damn.
And
you set me free telling me you blame me, because I blame you too.
I mean,
and then I'm like, it's not her fault. But but man, I want to blame it on you so bad, because it makes it easy.
But we don't have nobody else to blame, because it's you. Like, it's you.
I ain't think about it like that. You're the only other person there.
I mean, but it kind of is. It's your fault, because why you had to go out here and be famous and be doing all these moves and keep me with them kids 24/7?
It's your fault. Why you want a self-identity? Like, why can't you just let me cook? Like, dog, like, why do you want things for yourself
exactly
that I have to support? Just let me worry about me, dog. Nah, I understand.
Wow, that's a real moment.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying that.
You set me free when you said you blame me. I'm like, damn, because I be blaming you too. I just talk myself back. I feel
it's everybody's fault, okay?
I diluted with reality.
It's everybody. Everybody been catching L's. If I love you, you've been catching the L. I just haven't said it because it's petty and it's my feelings. It's not real life.
You might be, damn.
But
is that what I'm doing?
Yo, douche, 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 douche. Everybody getting hit. Everybody taking L's in my heart.
What a Kevin Hart, boom, boom, everybody gonna die.
But, and I think saying those feelings out loud and not only feeling those things, but like intentionally going to the people who I expected to be there or expected to do certain things that weren't necessarily done, like being honest with them about how I felt, not about the blaming part, but about I miss you.
The feelings part, yeah.
Yeah, like I miss you. I feel like I don't have any time to hang out with my friends. Like if I did have more time, like these are the things I want to do with you. Or you know what I mean? Like planning smaller things. So like one of my best friends, she has 2 under 2 right now. And she's my ride or die. I can call on her on anything, but she's dealing with the kids. She works for the feds. Like it's a lot going on, and we've had to be really intentional about the time that we spend, even if it's a voice note. I mean, 10-minute voice notes like, hey girl, I'm probably not gonna talk to you for 2 weeks, but let me tell you all the crazy shit happening in my life right now.
That's right.
Or like sometimes we made up at 9:00 p.m. just to have one piece of wine together because we still up till 1:00 in the morning stressing about our kids. Might as well be stressed with your best friend on the couch sipping wine. Like
I think that's
just
so important, man.
But like it took so long to get here, but like doing those little things, and I know you've been hanging out with your homeboys a lot lately, like that has just been so good for me. Like I didn't know that you can do this.
But you hit the nail on the head though. It's the moderation piece. It's not the fact that you can't do it. It's just that the way that you did it when you only had to worry about you versus the way that you do it when all the responsibilities are falling on top of you. It's 2 different ways, and the way that you can do it when the responsibilities are falling on top of you is a truncated version of what you're used to. It's not the whole thing. Like if you used to going to the sub shop and getting you a foot long, this the 4-inch joint that they give free for Valentine's Day. Like it's like you eat it and then you like, damn, I wish there was more. And I think it takes you a while of eating a smaller portion of the thing you were used to realize that sometimes you don't get full, you're just satisfied for the moment. And it's changing the goal, but damn, that back doors into the thing that me and you talking about with us. Just realize that when you said it, because this friend she talking about, I saw her yesterday, she was like, I'm so sorry I haven't seen you in a while. Stop. I'm not that person.
Yeah.
You got small kids, I got small kids. We seen each other right now. Let's sit in this moment, because
such a good moment.
Yeah, oh man, I miss her so much, but I miss you so much too.
I miss you,
and I
miss you. I miss the you that we can be together without all the stuff.
And the stuff is changing me. It's another Instagram video. It's this British guy. I hope we can drop it. And he's a newscaster. He says when you become a man, he said this is very important for men. When you become a man, you get to spend less time with your friends. Like you just when the marriage and the kids' responsibility falls on you, you don't get time with your friends. And I know we don't talk about that as a society because we frame men a very specific way. But
you're not supposed to be happy.
No,
you're supposed to take care of your family.
Or you don't take care. Men don't take care of their families. What do you need to hang out with your friends for? I was like, that's the portion that you're choosing to see. I understand, but there are a lot of us who are loved by women who would love for us to get out the house more. And he says, to the day I die, I will always remember, like, there's nothing like being on a train with your friends and at 9:30 a.m. the first of the beer. He was like, that will forever do something. The freedom, the world is yours to explore. You can do whatever you want. There's no responsibilities. And when he said that, he set me free because I'm like, damn, the responsibilities are crushing.
Yeah.
They're crushing. When we finish this we got to go and pick up the kids.
Yo, and I'm looking at the clock right now.
I got to do, like, we're constricted by the life that we built. Like it's a home, but it is a prison sometimes. The marriage, it is a hearth, but it is a prison sometimes. And it's not her fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault.
Yeah.
And it's not my fault.
And it's not your fault.
How dare we want to be successful and happy?
Yeah.
How dare we?
Yeah.
We could just make this joint be anything. We see each other when we see each other. Ain't no pressure.
Nah, man.
You go out and live your doing nasty deeds. I do my thing. That's so easy.
Yeah. But what's the purpose of building this if you're gonna do that?
I don't know. I could be single and be single. Why be single and be married? Why go through all of this?
And then you hurt people in the process.
Including yourself. Including yourself. And then hate yourself while you're doing it.
Because I ain't never heard nobody, them stories with those men, and they always regret it.
Every time.
They always regret it. They always regret it.
The women too.
Yeah, everybody. You always regret it. It's never worth it. It is never worth it.
So yeah, that's the season, man. And that's just full transparency. But I think one thing I see in you is you're doing a good job of, well, maybe this transitions to the next thing we talk about, because I feel like I'm talking a lot. But
you spent some bars.
It's you the other day. This is a really good example of what we're talking about. So this month, I don't know when this is going to post. I'm gonna just say this month. Let y'all figure it out.
You know us. You know.
This month I have a lot of speaking events. I'm not home at all.
At all this month.
Thankful for the speaking events, but I think I got 6 in a month. Like, it's going crazy. And I just agreed to another one that's right before one.
Oh, great.
So
I don't know about that.
Gotta get to the bag. But one of my homies called me, and he and we go on fishing trips. He got 2 kids. He married. We just understand. And he hit me. I hit him up like, bro, I got a small window in next month where I can do a fishing trip. Let's set it up. And he said, bet. We put it on the calendar. I blocked it off. And I kind of just told Noémie, I said, hey, I'm doing a fishing trip this time next month. And she was like, all right, because we don't really ask the other. Well, we do, but it's just, we just careful about making it seem like a drag to just live your own life. And the next day I had a doctor's appointment, and Noémie called me. You mind me telling the story?
That's fine. I forgot about it until you just mentioned it. I think it's on point with what we're talking about.
Yeah. So the next day Noémie calls me, and I'm at a doctor's appointment, and I just got out. And she says, hey, you got a minute to talk? I said, sure, what's up? And she basically tells me, she said, so I kind of feel a way about the thing that happened the other day. You just made this plan and you going fishing with your friends, but I don't feel like you considered me. Now, backstory, I told her, hey, I think we need to make some room for you to get some time away. Like, you need some time away from us, point blank, period. And she said, yeah, okay, let's talk about it. But in the grand scheme of all the things we talk about, we can't always hit every point. And that was a point that did not get hit in the several weeks that followed. So she's saying, yeah, I feel a certain kind of way because you did that, and I don't feel like we're considering me here. And I don't know what she thought my response was going to be, but you remember what I said?
Wasn't that. Go ahead.
What did I say?
You just like, okay, cool. Let's find some time in the calendar.
Yeah, she was right. I said, all right, I'll be home in 35 minutes.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
And he was home.
And I was home in 35 minutes.
And we talked about it.
And we just talked about it. And we set a day. She got a spa day, all the stuff.
Yeah.
She got a spa day, and she going to have 24 hours in this house by herself. Me and the kids going to stay in a hotel room. We going to school the next morning from the hotel room. Yeah. So.
And by the way, the reason why is because my house is better than the hotel room. Not because you about to be at the Four Seasons.
Shout out. No, we're going to the courtyard.
I know.
Blanky
but you know, sometimes people might be like, oh, why can't you leave? I love my home.
She rather stay
home. We have a beautiful bathroom, a beautiful master bedroom.
And also, you don't feel comfortable staying at them places.
Yeah,
by
I don't.
yourself sometimes.
I feel like I'm gonna get kidnapped.
Yeah, and I respect that. I see that. So we talked about it, and that could have been a whole thing. But one thing I told her after that whole thing concluded, I said, hey, listen, this is a weird space that I'm in with responsibilities. There's a lot of noise going on in my life right now, and I'm not always going to be able to see what you need the most. I need for you to be a fierce advocate for your own wellness right now.
That's exactly what he said.
If I don't see it, you have to say something or assume I do not see it. And she could have took that as you don't care about me, you're not paying enough attention to me, you're not attuned to my needs. And she didn't. She said, okay. So the agreement we have is she's a fierce advocate for her wellness, and my side of the agreement is if she says she needs time, we make it happen.
Yeah,
we make it. It's not a matter of if, it's just how. How we're going to make it happen. Cool, let's make it happen. What is it going to look like? And I think that's, to me, like, I thought you were right. I said, yeah, you're right. We haven't made time for this thing. It's not a contentious issue to me. It's what are we going to do to make this thing work? And I can see how that conversation can go left with so many people.
So can I. But I see how it affected our relationship for that conversation to go right. I did not talk to you about, I didn't tell you about this, but when I tell you it unlocked a trust that I have in you now that I didn't necessarily have before. That moment and the way that conversation happened changed so much about
Talk
how I
about
view in
it.
our relationship.
Help me out, because I don't see it.
Sure. I think like a lot of times, I hate to generalize, but I also hate not being authentic sometimes. But I just feel like men sometimes don't, just because they feel like things are easier for women to do versus them, that it's easy, period. And like, it's not that we don't advocate for ourselves in relationships sometimes it's that because our partners don't see the things that we need as that important, that they don't prioritize it as well.
I can see that.
And I think with motherhood, at least for me, it's so easy to become like a martyr to your motherhood experience. So like, oh, like I could take my time, but my child needs this, or the business needs this, or my husband needs that. And it's not even like big things, but like even before I was like, maybe I shouldn't go to this spa because it's going to cost too much money and I can spend that money on something else. Like it took care to say like, nah, like
I put the money aside for you.
like what you about to do? Spend $10,000? Like, no, like a spa day is a spa day. It's not cheap, but you know what I mean? It's not undoable if you don't plan for it.
I don't work this hard for you not to be
That's
able
what
to
I'm
do stuff
saying.
like
Like,
that.
come on, fam. And I feel like because business has been so crazy and so you focused, that a lot of times you didn't see, like not that you didn't see, but it was hard to prioritize this thing when you have this mountain, of things.
Yeah.
And in the past, you would have taken that defensively. It would have turned into an argument. Like, this isn't who we are. We're both shocked at the way that it happened because we've seen how much we've grown, And I feel like I was prepared for the back and forth. And when it didn't happen, I was like, oh.
Yeah, you sound disarmed. Actually, I wasn't shocked at all. Like how you said we're both
Really?
shocked. No.
Maybe because you're a therapist and you see things miles away. Because I don't.
We have different amounts of forethought with different stuff.
That is absolutely true.
With conflict in our relationship, I have a tremendous amount of forethought. I can see when it's coming. I can feel when it's coming. I know how to neutralize it. I know when to pay attention. I know when something's not important sometimes.
Yeah.
But I wasn't shocked by it at all.
I was shocked.
Yeah, it felt like you were expecting a battle and I had no fight for you. Yeah, you were right. We didn't talk about the thing I said we want to talk about. My bad. Let's handle it now. There's no perfect time. There's only the time we have right now. So let's just do it.
He's making a lot of sense. I was still shocked.
My bad. You're absolutely right.
The kicker was, I'm coming home right now. Let's talk about it and look in the calendar. But babe, like I feel like you've been like this for a while, but we haven't had conflict in this way for a long time. So like the last time we had conflict for real was Hawaii.
Yeah.
That was 3 years ago.
But it helps because the difference between Hawaii and this, and you may disagree, is I didn't feel unfairly blamed for something that I wasn't aware of.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Hawaii caught you off guard.
It caught me off guard because I wasn't aware of any accumulating stress. I didn't see it. I didn't feel it. Here, it made sense, but you didn't blame me. You told me how you felt. You led with I feel like this because we have not this. You didn't say, you said you were going to, and you promised, and then you didn't dip into the bag of the past stuff. And because every time this happened in the past, here's all the examples, and I understand how someone can feel like that's helpful. By the way, you may think I'm talking about a specific gender, but I'm not, because everybody do it. But that's not helpful because now I can't hear what you want. I hear what you're doing, and what you're doing is you're blaming me for something that I don't feel is my fault. So the space that I have where I can kind of figure this out with you collaboratively, I don't have that because you don't feel collaborative. You feel adversarial. So now I don't feel like I need to talk to you. I feel like I need to protect myself from this characterization that you're putting on me that I do not see. That's where the blame thing does not work. It doesn't work. And it feels helpful. Man, I just talked somebody through this in counseling. I'm like, I know this feels like it's helpful, but where's the evidence that it's helping you? And they were like, it's not. I'm like, yeah, let's try something different. Yeah. But
you sound like my therapist.
Your therapist is a beast. I never met her before, but
you said that
she's a beast. Yeah.
I didn't remember she told me to say that. I talked about this specifically in therapy, and is it called something?
I statement.
Yeah, so she made me go through this exercise and practice the I statements that I'm going to say.
Good job, Noémie's therapist.
And when you said, I said it like that, it's like, I didn't even realize I was doing it. And I need to call her. We need a session.
Some people tell me what their therapist say, and I'm like, ooh, your therapist sucks. But every time you tell me some of the stuff your therapist says, I'm like, yeah, your therapist's a dog. Don't ever let her go.
No, I won't.
She's a dog. She's
awesome.
Nice with it.
Yeah,
she's awesome. Incredible. Just from what you gave me back, she knows what she's doing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's a beast.
She's a psychotherapist, so
that's
I feel
helpful.
Like, yeah.
She's a beast, man. Your therapist is excellent. But yeah, I'm glad that we avoided.
I was so ready to go back and forth with you. And the fact that
you
it
wanted to fight so bad.
I don't want to fight. That's the thing.
With you.
Listen, I'm ready. Nah. But I don't want to fight with you. I don't like to fight with you. I don't, you know what I mean? I don't like who I am when we get into petty arguments. Like, cause that's not me. You know what I mean? And that's just my emotions, and that's me not putting names to the ways that I feel and trying to internalize everything.
Yeah, you know what? That happens a lot with folks, man, where they turn their internal inability to change or touch or name the thing into somebody else's problem.
Yeah. That's why we started saying everybody was catching L's in my life. Everybody was catching them.
That sucks, man. Society don't help, because you go on Instagram and all the content is just farming for victimization. So really bad. You're such a victim of your circumstances. Everyone's doing everything against you.
Or your friends aren't showing up for you, and friend break
maybe you're too much. Maybe you're asking for too much from people. Not you're too much, but you're asking for too much from people right now.
Or you're not speaking up. You're not saying words like people don't live their own lives, are going through their own.
Real talk.
If you going through some, know that there are 5 people going through 10 times worse than you. Everybody has their struggles.
Everybody got their struggles, and not everybody communicates the same way. And your emotions are paramount only in your mind. Like, other people are cool to consider it, but it's not their responsibility to all the time. You need to be okay with that fact and the idea that when they can't consider you in the moment, that's not some type of indictment on their level of friendship or their level of camaraderie or who they are to you. Like, damn, we just talking about this with a therapy client. Like, every time somebody does something that brings you displeasure, when you begin to label them, you start to become a hard person to be human around. Yeah. Like, if I'm not totally interested in everything you want to be interested in, or if I cancel too many dates, or if I'm not the responsive friend you need me to be in that moment, now all of a sudden you pulling back, and you falling back and then not communicating. People think because they spit their emotions out that they know how to communicate. Yeah. No, you're just expressive. Yeah. You're a poor communicator that is very emotionally expressive.
This is in your course.
Oh yeah.
This is in your course.
Yeah. We'll put the link down for the wait list below. But
he basically has a communication course for couples. But honestly, the more that, because I'm helping him, with some of the work with that, the more that I'm reading it and basically taking the course for free, I'm noticing that it's like really good tactics for anybody. Yeah. Like, just communication in general. Yeah. Like, you just got to be, if you're a good communicator, period, you can be a good communicator to your partner, to your friends, to your family.
And to yourself.
And to you.
That's the part where if you take care of everybody else and you didn't take care of you failed to take care of everybody. But I know we're going off on.
Yeah, let me go back to our notes. I liked where we were going.
Yeah.
This is a good one. And I want you to answer it for me, and then I'll answer it for you. Or vice versa, whatever. But I want us to answer it for each other. But it's like, when did you notice that we both, like, this was heavy and we both needed space outside of like this is everything that we're going through. It's not something I can help you with. It's not something that you can help me with, which is why you wanted me to be like a fierce advocate for like what I needed, right? Mm-hmm. And I guess, like, when did you realize it's like, okay, this is actually heavy, and if we don't do something about it, like, we in some shit.
That's a good question. I noticed it. I've been noticing it for a few months, but a part of me was just afraid to really wrap my arms around it, because then once I know something exists, I feel the responsibility to do something about it. Mm-hmm. And I'm a person who needs to, I'm an emotional person. Mm-hmm. So I need to feel my feelings before I start moving, or I move in a direction that's not true to how I feel. Mm-hmm. So I'm still in the part of feeling this whole thing, and I didn't want to move too quick. So I want to say I've been thinking about it for months, but it really dawned on me like in the last couple of weeks, where I just started to feel disconnected from you. Mm-hmm. And it's like, what's the difference? Why do I feel so disconnected? And it's just stuff in the way. And the more, when I got some space to think away from y'all, I was like, damn, I feel different in this environment where I don't have all the stuff in my face. It's like, oh, it's the stuff. It's the stuff. And it's
What was the stuff for you?
financial responsibility.
We don't talk enough about that.
Financial, everybody talk about the sole provider. Yo, man, it comes with some mental stuff. And even the way you talk about money for the person who left their job, what they supposed to ask you for every penny?
They get an allowance.
Can I have a pittance, please? More, sir. You know, the relationship becomes different that way. But also, you can't just be like, hey, just start swiping. Just throw it in the bag.
Don't tell me to swipe, because I'm a swipe.
Yeah, so you gotta have that in mind. And I was talking to your friend you talking about, because we talking about when someone's a sole provider, and that person was talking about their partner and saying, and we're going off on a tangent because I want to ask you the same question. But they said, you know, when someone is the sole financial provider, it's a mental pressure. Like it changes that person fundamentally. And when she said, I was like, damn, yeah, it does. Because 4 people in a house with 2 incomes, the money spends different than 4 people in a house with 1 income. Yeah, the money spends different. Just think about toilet paper. think about toilet paper.
How many people you got in your house?
How many butts you got in your house? You know. So I think that's when I realized. And I'm still coming to the realization. I'm just in the place to do something about it. When did you realize?
It's kind of like an uncomfortable story, but I realized it after reading a lot of the comments about how not sad I looked, but it was something to the tune of like I wasn't happy. Like people noticed that it was different than how I was before. And I think one of the things that I love to do is I like to scroll on my story. Like whenever I have like a whole bunch of new people following me, I always go and scroll to see what would they see if you were seeing me for the first time. And I saw like the drop off. Like I saw like 2022, like not boss, but confident. You know, 23 was probably like my highlight year. 24 was like, oh, this is getting real. And 25, so like the end of 24, 25 has been like, am I happy? Am I not happy? I'm not who I don't feel like me anymore. And it's like, I typically don't take comments in general to heart, but when there's truth in them, and like, I believe I'm a masker. I believe I'm an internalizer. So it's like, I felt like it wasn't as tight as it used to be. You know what I mean? Like people are actually seeing
the crip was slipping.
Pretty much. And I felt like people were seeing what was actually, yes, happening in real time, but I thought I was doing a good job at hiding it. So it's like, it's one thing to like, I'm a type of person, I'm a power through, I'm a figure it out, I'm a hustle my way through. And I'm in this new season where I'm really trying to be present. I'm really just trying to feel life as it happens. Like, I don't want to be this old lady and I don't know what life feels like because I'm trying to uphold like a certain image or a certain idea of myself. And I just, you know, I felt like the audience knew me better than I knew myself. And I've been trying to like understand how I'm feeling. And one of the things that kept on coming up was like, these things that I want to happen for me aren't happening for me. And, you know, the more I kind of looked into why that is the case, when you were like, you know, when we were talking about the whole I need a day thing, when you're like, I need you to be a fierce advocate. And it's like, I am, you know what I mean? I just didn't know that I could in this season because of everything that's happening. It felt very selfish in the moment. So for you, the person that I was prepared to hear that I was selfish. I was prepared to hear that, you know, we're building this business and this business belongs to both of us. And this is just a sacrifice we got to make. It's not personal. Like I was prepared to hear, you just need to wait a little bit longer before we can focus on you. And I think for so long, I expected that focus back on me to look like it's something active from you, not something that I had the permission to be active, you know, for.
Dang, I ain't know that. In my communication with you, have there ever been moments that you could think of where I responded that way?
No, it's not so much that you respond in that way, but you have responded in a way where the additional ask or the additional space for conversation was just so heavy, and it was already heavy. So it's never that like I thought that I wasn't important. I just thought that you were going through so much that how could I ask you? Like, it's heavy on you the same way it's heavy on me. You know what I mean? Like, I just thought it was just, people talk about in relationships where we have these seasons where it's just, you know, heavy. And I thought this was that season. So I've been preparing to be in that season for the past couple of months. So the like drop off to do what you got to do was just really unexpected. And I think, you know, maybe I'm misinterpreting where we were, but that's the feeling that I got from you. I got the feeling like it was just so heavy that like, I don't know if this is a good decision anymore. I don't know if this lifestyle is sustainable. And like, while I think the business has the potential, like maybe we just don't have the things that it takes to hold that up.
I see where you coming from.
Yeah.
Man, we look at that thing so differently.
Really?
Because it's always heavy, but to me, my thing is no matter how heavy it is, my obligation always goes to you. Like, even above the kids, I have a responsibility as a parent, and I'm gonna take care of them babies. But I only got so much bandwidth for them little bammers. The business, we created this thing, and I have an obligation to it, but I only got so much bandwidth for it. The business is separate from me being the therapist. I've invested a lot of time into this, but I only got a certain amount of bandwidth. You're the only thing that I walked into a space with, fully understanding that it's going to change a million times. I don't know what the change is going to look like, but I'm dedicated to moving with it in a way that makes sense for me and makes sense for you. So it's different. Like, you the only family that I chose, knowing exactly who you were when I got into it. Them kids are surprised. We ain't know what they were going to end up like.
We still don't know what they
You know what I'm saying? My family of blood. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all baby's crazy too.
Love them, but they crazy as hell. I didn't choose them. I just got dropped off into their arms. You know what I'm saying? So it's different. But yeah, it is heavy. Yeah. And no, I don't want to have those conversations with you sometimes, but I think it's worth it, and I think I need to, and I will always make space for it. Yeah, you know. But I understand the apprehension, man. I don't know. It's so many factors, man. Like, even for the longest, I thought I've never been a happy wife, happy life kind of dude. But the older I get, the more I'm seeing how there's so many men who just believe that their family's happiness is their happiness, and they seem happy, but really they're just kind of content. Yeah. And then they morph into these beings that don't feel like they deserve things or happiness or really have an individual personality to themselves. And I can't be that. Like, I'm not. I've been a dynamic personality my whole life. I'm never just one thing. I've never been one thing, and I can't be relegated to that for the happiness of other people. But that doesn't mean I don't have to meet the needs. Yeah. Or, you know what I'm saying?
Nah, understood.
I gotta. It's learning to juggle both. Actually, it's more than both. It's learning to juggle everything. And you drop the ball sometimes.
Yeah, and that's okay.
Yeah, it's all right, but you got to pick the joint back up, you know, and just try again. Yeah. That's the thing. I'm only a quitter if I stop trying. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. You really got, like, if you want marriage advice, make sure you like that person. Love. Man, love ain't not in marriage. Love ain't.
Make sure you like that person for real.
You got to like them as a human, man. You want them
to be happy.
Yeah, outside of you.
Outside. You know what? Speaking of that, how you were saying how you're a dynamic person and you like to be outside. I don't like to be outside as much as you. Nor do I want to be outside all the time with you. But like, when you're outside and you're free and you know what I mean? Like, you let the day just kind of go where it goes. Like, you always come back happier. Like, it reminds me of the Kier that I fell in love with.
That was a freak, but the Kier you fell in love with only was responsible for himself.
Understood. However,
he was a free man.
However, for so long, I felt like since you can't be that person anymore, you'll never be that kind of happy.
Me too.
Until now.
Yeah, you know what it is? And you said this at the top of the episode. You said something about you don't feel like yourself. And I always challenge that notion in my own head, and it falls alongside this notion of happiness that I have, where it's the question is less, do I feel like myself, and more, it's less not feeling like myself and more just unfamiliar with this version of myself. And you may experience that where the things that used to make you happy don't make you happy anymore. And you feel like you just got to press that button hard. If I do more of this thing, maybe I'll feel the happiness. And I think what we fail to realize, we being you and us, is that the button don't hit the same because you're different now. Like that thing does not do it for you anymore. Now you have to find another thing in your parenthood journey, your personal journey, your marriage, all that. And I'm so different.
Yeah.
What it takes to take care of me is different. It's like I fell asleep when I became a husband and father, and I'm starting to wake up, and I think I'm the same person since before that coma. Nah, bro.
I want you to speak a little bit more about finding this new version of yourself and reconciling who that person is.
I want you to talk about it too, because I want to see what you going through, so I can,
but where I want it to go is I really want to touch on briefly before we end is how do we connect it back to us? I think we talked
I want to touch on you briefly.
Oh my God, grow up, sir. I gotta go in like 10 minutes. That's all we got. Oh, you're making me uncomfortable. I was going to talk about how disconnected, how we've been and how we can connect it back to us, but it seems like that's not an issue. So, what was the question?
Well, that portion, that's one portion we haven't been disconnected in.
I feel like we have.
Really?
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah.
I would say how so, but I don't know if we want to have that.
No, I'll be.
Keep it, yeah.
Yeah, it's just, sometimes I feel like I'm a chore. Like
I'm talking about sexual.
Oh, I'm not talking about that.
That's what I was talking about.
That's not what I was.
Jesus, woman.
I was talking about emotional disconnection.
Oh yeah.
I feel emotionally
we can
disconnected.
talk about that. Yeah, I mean,
I feel that makes sense. I don't feel sexually disconnected.
That's what I'm saying. That's like the one spot.
That's one of the tenets of our relationship. I think like anything that we talk about. Listen, I'm
when that mic get hit.
Listen,
we on that.
To wrap this, I don't even care what we was talking about anymore. I got things to do, but sexual disconnection is not something that I ever feel. I think that's just natural. That has a lot to do with how we got together, how we stayed together, how we gonna be together. Like I think that's just a department that's not really of concern. And it's not hard. It's not hard for us. We're very connected naturally there. Yeah. But I feel like the emotional connection is what takes work. And
talk about that.
The reason why there's no resentment there is I think because we have grace, we're emotionally intelligent. You know what I mean? But I also think we have high emotional IQs. I can recognize when something isn't about me, but it doesn't mean it doesn't affect me. Mm-hmm. So it's like there comes a point where it's like, okay, I get it. You know, this isn't about me. I might be feeling some type of way about X, Y, and Z. But then there's a point where it's like, well, I don't want this to continue. Or maybe he's not aware that this is happening, so let's talk about it. Mm-hmm. Which is why, like, the conversation earlier that we talked about came up. But the emotional disconnection, I don't feel it as much now, but I felt it for a long time before now. And I think it kind of goes back to the heaviness. I think it also goes back to, like, you really killing it business side. Like, on top of your calls, on top of your responsibilities, like you've definitely leveled up as a businessman. And I think that just took a lot of your energy. Mm-hmm. And I think that you're really good at knowing, okay, this requires a lot of my time. This doesn't require as much, but let me do something to sustain it here. Like, I know that life shouldn't be a balance, but the way that it is similar to balancing, you're good at. You're good at that. And I think that I maybe wasn't clear enough about what I needed from you emotionally, but there was a disconnection. I needed more and you thought we were good. Mm-hmm. But I didn't want to bring it up because it wasn't that we're bad. It's just that, like, hey, I need more time from you, but I know you have no time.
That's such a tough place to be.
And like I said, I don't feel like that anymore because I think I also was relying on you to fulfill a lot of some emotional needs that I can figure out myself. So it's just like now that I've kind of adjusted the metrics or whatever, like life looks different. You know, happiness looks different. The percentages of what I apply to different things look different. And it's not so much that they're just fluctuating. They're completely different. The kids don't need as much as I used to give them. And now I feel like I'm giving them too much. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? The business doesn't need as much as I needed to give it. So now I feel like that time I could spend in myself, I could spend with you. You know, it's not like babe, we need a date this month because we haven't been on a date. It's like, oh, this thing is happening, let's go. Like, it's less of a
man, that takes so much of the pressure off of it.
But man, that came with age. Like, Sid is 3.5 right now. From 2.5 to now, it's been crazy. Now she don't, but like, she's gonna be crazy. I can either let it bother me or not. Like, the only thing that has the ability or capability to change at this point is how I deal with it. She's going to be crazy every day. Such a good perspective. But like, it's just real life. Yeah, that's and it frees me of this anxiety, this hold on like organization and logistics. Like, nothing is going to happen as planned.
You are so good at that now.
I think because I'm an adaptable person. Yeah. I don't think I've always been that good, but no. I think I can become good at the things that I think I need to do.
You definitely can. Yeah.
Just give me some time.
You need to know that it's not going back and you need to do this.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Nah, I hear the emotional disconnect, and I felt it and see it too. And I'm glad that you're able to speak about the way that you feel comfortable in a relationship, speaking about the way that you feel. But I'm glad you're able to like have some level of sensitivity on how you turn the dial and when you lean into your stuff, and how you lean into our collective stuff, or how you focus on your stuff. You you don't focus on your stuff in order to, make the moment work, and then you can turn it back and you can focus directly on your stuff and not blame us. For
that, I am totally there now. And I think for so long, I didn't say it out loud, but I did. I blamed you. I blamed the kids. I blamed myself for being a stay-at-home mom. Like, I do not want to be a stay-at-home mom. This sucks. I love the freedom, but I don't love the facade of it. I think I fell in love with what I thought it would look like. And it's not that it's bad. It's the way that I framed it in my mind was just not, it wasn't based on the cars that I had. Yeah. It was somebody else's life.
It was super sexy in the mind, but not in the reality.
Like the TikTok moms got me. You know what I mean? Like, I was looking at them and I was like, yeah, I'm going to do that. And it's like, my life don't look like that. You have to land this plane. I have to leave 5 minutes ago.
All right. So we are landing this plane. And
there's going to be a part 2 to this.
Yeah, I thought of so many things. Yeah. It's a lot of things we still didn't touch on. But I want you to touch on some of the things or themes that you walked away from this episode with that gave you a aha moment, or a moment of self-reflection, or a moment of self-discovery, or a question, anything. Drop that joint below. We thank y'all. Shout out to the audio listeners. Make sure that you subscribe to the Sit Down Talk podcast on YouTube and wherever you pod. And also make sure that you follow us, and make sure that you leave a comment or a review, or whatever they call. I'm not telling you to leave a 5-star review, but if you do, that would be what's up. And thank y'all for the honesty and transparency. Well, y'all ain't do shit. Y'all just kind of listening.
No, they be honest and transparent.
Okay, y'all did.
It's a conversation.
Yeah, my bad.
Y'all, we not the only one spilling our relationship business out here in these streets.
My bad, y'all. I ain't even give y'all credit. That's on me. But yeah, this episode is done. We are going to take a hiatus for the summer, just to let y'all know. We got probably another 3 episodes, maybe 2 coming out, and then we're taking a break.
4 to 2.
Then we're taking a break for the whole summer.
You won't get upset.
And then the new season starts. Yeah. So just giving you a heads up on that. But hey, you with the face looking at me, you be good. Catch you next time. Peace.